going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now,
Jimothy.
So ladies and gents, we're back with another edition of Boardbreakers, and we're actually using the Floowandereeze deck that I profiled on the channel most recently. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave an icon in the top right hand corner and you guys can go and check that out. Now what I will say is the deck is still under construction. I'm still waiting for a few cards, so it's not the finished article, so to speak, but it will be very soon, and it's a very fun rogue deck nonetheless. Now the board that I'm facing down is actually Lyrillus Tri-Brigade board, and this is a typical end board that you'll see from them. They probably could end on a lot more, but as I've said, this is Boardbreakers, ladies and gents, so this is the bare minimum that you should be dealing with. You're probably going to have a lot more, but Floowandereeze have a half decent matchup against this deck, mainly because we don't special summon. So the Lyrillus Unsung Blue is kind of like a dead card, but it's a super powerful card as well because it can bounce multiple monsters. But in this situation, we're kind of playing around it. I did want to actually go test against Sword Soul, but I don't have a Baron de Fleur, and that's something that you typically see on the end of a Sword board. I could just proxy it, but I just didn't want to. So anyway, we're here, we've shuffled up a bit. Let's see if we can break this negate board. Let's say negate, it's three interruptions. You got a hard monster negate, and then you've got 3 bounces in the form of a Lyrillus Unsung Blue. So we've split. Now bearing in mind we are going second, ladies and gents, so let's see what we get off the rip here. So we get 1 Solemn Judgment, wow, 1 Floowandereeze and the Unexpected Winds. We've got 1 Forbidden Chalice, beautiful, 1 D-Shifter, as well as 1 Floowandereeze Eaglin, which is absolutely fantastic. And now for our 6th card, we've got 1 map, which is absolutely beautiful. So decisions here, decisions. All right, so we can play freely, ladies and gents. This is absolutely beautiful. So the first thing that I'll probably fire off is the D-Shifter. So just get D-Shifter into rotation, because if Lyrillus Unsung Blue isn't sent to the graveyard, I don't believe it can actually add back, because it will get banished if it leaves the field. So hopefully that's what we're looking to do. So we do have map here, which is nice. So we fired off the D-Shifter. I'm going to activate Unexplored Winds, because if we do get far enough in our combo, we should realistically be able to tribute over the Utopic Future Draco before it becomes a problem. Okay, so just thinking of situations here, we've got map, we've got Eagland. Alright, so we're going to activate map, we're going to fire off map, and then we're going to reveal to our opponent our Floowandereeze Eaglin, and then we're going to banish, it's pretty obvious, we're going to banish our Rabina from our deck, and then we're going to normal summon our Eaglin, activating its effect, and we're going to chain our Rabina. Now this is potentially where your opponent would really want to interrupt. The Eaglin has a target on its head, because this gets you the bigger monsters, which typically obviously have the most impact on the field. But because I'm chain blocking, it's difficult for the Utopic Future Draco to be able to participate in my turn. So yeah, so we'll do that. We'll add back the Eaglin as chain link 2, and then chain link 1. Sorry, add back the Rabina as chain link 2, chain link 1. Eaglin will go and fire off, and we'll add back our M-Pen. Then immediately after that effect resolves, we can normal summon our Rabina, and then we can activate our Rabina's effect. Now at this point, if our opponent wants to Utopic Future Draco, he's more than likely or is more than able to. This is probably the only point where he can, because if he doesn't Utopic Future Draco here, I can just tribute over. I'm going to tribute over his monster anyway, because I haven't used my normal summon. I've used Map's effect to normal summon, so he's going to go. So this is probably his best time to chain his Utopic Future Draco. So we'll assume that he'll chain the Future Draco here by attaching a material. And then to that, I'm going to chain my Forbidden Chalice and target his Utopic Future Draco. So then that gets banished. In fact, that goes to the graveyard. That gets banished. So now his Utopic Future Draco is negated, and Rabina can go and search for a level 4 or lower winged beast monster. So in this instance, Yeah. We could do barrier statue. Yeah, we'll do barrier statue. The reason why we're going for barrier statue, ladies and gents, is I'm just weary of Nibiru. Okay, so we'll add barrier statue to hand. Then we will tribute summon our M-Pen and tribute over the Utopic Future Draco using the Unexplored Winds. Eagle will get banished. Utopic Future Draco will get banished because it was sent from field to grave. In fact, everything gets banished because it's any card sent to the graveyard, isn't it? Because it's on the D shifter. Yep, any card sent to the graveyard, even as material. So all of those get banished. And then we'll go M-Pen 1 and we'll go Eagle 2. So Eagle will add back. And then M-Pen will go and search. Now what do we want to search here? We're going to search a Spallow Trap. Probably search the Scary Sea. Just because we know we're playing against Lyrilos, and they do have the ability to play under the barrier statue. So we'll search the Scary Sea. And then we can normal summon our barrier statue. Then we're going to set our Solemn Judgment, set our Scary Sea, and we are good to go, ladies and gents. Then we can go straight into battle phase, and if we want to, we can use M-Pen's effect, but we're not gonna because we can easily beat over that. So we'll go M-Pen effect, just M-Pen just to beat over our Lyrilos on some blue. So that gets banished, those get banished. And then attack with Rabina, attack with barrier statue, and then we'll pass our turn to our opponent. And that is it, ladies and gents. Board is broken. Now, like I said, it is an interesting deck. If my opponent had any kind of infinite impermanence or effect Veiler, well, if Veiler wouldn't have worked anyway because I'm on the D shifter, but infinite impermanence is highly likely, so you probably would have seen some kind of interaction with infinite imperm. But I didn't actually use my normal summon. This was just all off Magnificent Map, which is actually a fantastic card. So now my opponent's got a load of cards banished, as well as not really having any resources to play with next turn. And I've got a Solemn Judgment set, so I can just burn his normal summon. If he then goes to special summon, then I can actually negate the effect with Floowandereeze and the Scary Sea. And he's also on the barrier statue, which is just a bit of a problem anyway. So yeah, ladies and gents, that is test hand number 1. Board is broken, nice and simple. So let's see if we can do that again. Give me a moment and I'll set up and let's go.
A few moments later.
Okay, we are back. Boardbreaker test hand numero 2. So let's see if we can bust this board once again. Now, to be honest, ladies and gents, I am actually looking to play Lyrilos Tri-Brigade. I was messing around with RP Tri-Brigade, but after taking it to the regional and just taking the biggest out of my life, and actually taking it to a couple of locals afterwards, I just realised that the Harpy cards are strong, but they don't plush you in any way. A lot of the cards, if they don't stick to the board, it's kind of like your turn's over. So the Lyrilos stuff just have a little bit more gas, so to speak. They can do a lot more and they can resolve a lot more effects, as well as have a lot more recursion and a lot more advantage in terms of their cards. Obviously, if you're locked out of your extra deck with Cypher, it is a bit of a rough time, but just all in all, the Lyrilos deck combined with the Tri-Brigade stuff is just way stronger than the Harpy stuff. So if I do go to a regional, that's probably the deck I'm going to take, but I am actually really thinking about playing Earth Machine. The last locals that I went to over the Christmas period, actually, just before Christmas, I actually went 2-2 and I arrived late as well, so I ended up with a round 1 loss as well, and I went 2-2 and also it was actually a good showing. So yeah, anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. Let's draw our 6 cards and see if we can break this board again. So starting us off, we got 1 D shifter. This is actually glued to my hand. 1 duality, which is nice to see. 1 Rabina, which means we can play somewhat. 1 Eaglin, one barrier statue, as well as one Book of Moon. Oh my days, this is actually beautiful. All right, so this looks like this board is getting broken today. All right, so wasting no time, Book of Moon, target the Utopic Future Draco. So that's flipped down in defense position. So he's, in fact, yes, a Book of Moon, target the Utopic Future Draco, and then I would chain D-Shifter, actually, just to make sure that plays properly, because we want to make use of D-Shifter. We've got no cards in our graveyard at the moment, so we can D-Shift that in response to the Book of Moon as soon as there's a quick effect. So we've chained it, Utopic Future Draco gets booked, Book of Moon actually gets banished. Then we are free to play. So what is the play here, first and foremost? So without actually playing into Droll and Lockbird too hard, let's see what we can do here. Let's normal summon our Eaglin. So Eaglin will activate its effect to be able to search us a level 7 or higher wing beast monster, and in this instance we want, obviously, our N-Pen. Now, like I said, ladies and gents, there's a bit of a directional flow to this. It's a bit linear, but you always want to get your N-Pen out on field, because in of itself, it is a bit of a floodgate when it hits the field. So we'll get our N-Pen, and then immediately after that effect resolves, we can normal summon a card. So we'll normal summon our Rabina. Rabina will activate its effect to search us a... So we've already got the barrier statue, so we don't actually need to search us, but we can actually search us a Stree, if we can find it. I thought it was Tucken at the one stage, but it's actually Stree that we want. So we'll search us a Stree, just because we can actually banish our own dimension shifter, which is nice. So then we'll normal summon our Stree, banish our dimension shifter, just in case we draw into another one. And bearing in mind our opponent's still on dimension shifter, so yeah. So we'll banish our Stree. And then we can actually then, after that effect resolves, normal summon again. So in this instance, we'll tribute over our Rabina and our Stree. So those will vanish. And then we'll go M-Pen 1 and we'll go Rabina 2. So we'll add back the Rabina. And M-Pen will search us. Tough one. M-Pen will search us map. Yeah, map. Map is really important, to be honest. If you don't see it, you really wanna. I could have actually searched it off duality, but I think map is the best place to go, because this is a guaranteed search. So that will add us to our hand, and then after that effect resolves, we can normal summon our barrier statue. Then we'll activate our duality. So then we'll remove the top 3 cards. So with, oh my days, Unexplored Winds, D-Shifter, and Riser. Wow. Okay. The question is, do we want to get into our Riser? But we've used Rabina's effect, so we can't really do much with that now, to be honest, until next turn. We could add the D-Shifter for a little bit of, well, a little bit more interruption, but then we've got duality. Well, in fact, no, we're still on the D-Shifter. Ooh, this is spicy. Nah, we'll add our Unexplored Winds. That makes more sense. So that gets banished. These two go back. Because next turn my opponent still got to play on the D shifter, so there's no point adding another D shifter to just then D shifter on my following turn. So then we'll activate winds, we'll activate map, and then we shall go into battle phase. So let me just double check the attack. So you top it to future Dracos on 2000, but then if he gets flipped up, then he can't be destroyed by battle. That's interesting. But then he can't activate any of his effects because he's in attack position. That is interesting. But it can actually, because he'll get flipped up into face-up defense position due to M-Pen attacking into him. Actually, yeah, I know what I'll do. I'll beat over the Lyrillus on some Blue Robin. So on some Blue Robin will get banished, and all of this will get banished, mainly because of D-Shifter. Take some damage there, and then I will pass turn. Now the reason why I didn't attack into the Utopic Future Dracos is because when it gets flipped up, its effects are going to be live again, and it's in face-up defense position, so it can actually have a negate. If my opponent flips it up, however, it's going to be flipped up into face-up attack position. And if it's flipped up into a face-up attack position whilst M-Pen's on field, it can't actually activate any of its effects. So it could try to beat over M-Pen, but M-Pen can just banish Rabina from hand to be able to like half that attack and then obviously beat over it. So then that would die, and it can't respond because it's in attack position. So he's in a bit of a precarious position. He'd probably flip this up and go try and beat over the barrier statue, to be honest. But if he does do that, if he does normal summon at any point, then obviously I can activate Rabina. Rabina can then just start snowballing some more advantage. I get another Eaglin, then I get Riser and then just spin the board back. So yes, ladies and gents, all in all, that was probably the most optimal play in my opinion. If you think that I should have done something different, definitely get at me in the comment section below. That's the whole point of doing this show, is just to learn, take inspiration from you guys, take your guys' advice, and just basically try and become a better player. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below if you would have did anything differently. But anyway, we find ourselves at the end of another video. If you did like this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.